Any opposed? 7-0. One of our favorite times of year, we have a recognition celebration for our Red Ribbon Week logo winner, going to be presented by Mrs. Judy O'Leary Sargent. You know, while you're standing up, I always forget, as Mr. Glover tends to point out, fire exit procedures, right? Basically, I think someone said the way you came in, please go out that way. But we also have doors on either side of the curtains. Should such an emergency arise, those are available for quick exit as well. I don't anticipate that we'll need them. Thank you.
Can I ask Paige May Wisen to come down? It is on. Maybe I have to stand closer. Does that work?
You're doing great. Yep.
Okay. Paige? Paige is apparently not going to be here, but let me talk a little bit about Red Ribbon Week. As you begin to see all the red ribbons around our community, you know we are embracing Red Ribbon Week wholeheartedly. This effort is the most successful drug prevention event ever held nationwide. The Red Ribbon campaign began in 1988 in response to a drug enforcement agent, Enrique Camarena, being killed by drug traffickers in Mexico. Wearing red ribbons is a symbol of our commitment to providing a drug-free future to our nation's youth. Red Ribbon Week is an opportunity for everyone to come together to celebrate healthy lifestyles in our schools and our community. We encourage all families to continue to promote healthy lifestyles and celebrate all the activities that take place in our schools throughout Red Ribbon Week. This is a great way to show your support for drug-free youth. Last week, the Fairport Parrington Chemical Prevention Advisory Council conducted a logo contest with our 5th grade DARE students. Their challenge was to design a logo for the Fairport community around the national theme, send a message, stay drug-free. The winning design, which is up here, was printed on 8,500 red ribbons. It was designed by Paige May Wisen, a student at Joanne Perrin. Those ribbons will be worn by youth and adults in the community throughout Red Ribbon Week, October 20th through 26th. So congratulations to Paige.
Good evening. My name is Brett Provenzano. I'm the proud superintendent of the Fairport Central School District, and I have the pleasure and honor to work very closely with our Fairport Board of Education. This week is School Board Recognition Week. It is declared annually by Governor Cuomo, and I am proud to be sharing in these moments. We've all been to homecoming. We've all seen Spirit Weeks. We've all had the opportunity to have our children or our students experience clubs, numerous clubs, clubs that you don't see, activities that you don't see in other school districts. There's an elective program here that is second to none. We are leaders throughout the area and even the state when it comes to access, equity, and diversity. We are on the cusp of a facilities planning project. We are managing our work through a strategic plan moving forward because of the board's high expectations. Behind all those high expectations, there's passion and there's love and there's genuine care for all of our schools. I have the pleasure to work closely with our Board of Education on a daily basis. The long hours, the things that people don't see that they do on behalf of our children, on behalf of our staff and our community as a whole. They're fierce advocates. And they're such a joy and pleasure. I learn from all of them. I'm better as a professional because I serve with them, and their vision is so inspiring, and it's such an honor to serve that vision. And I, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you. I also know that we have a number of our school members here, our building leaders and students, PTA representatives here to say thank you as well. At this time, I would like to bring up Ms. Pam Serrani from Minerva DeLand School to represent or to share their appreciation for Mr. Peter Forsgren. Ms. Serrani? There you go. Oh, sorry.
Good evening. Wait, is it on? I'm sure. Good evening. I'm Brady Unger, co-president of the class of 2023. Joining me is co-president Sophia Pasaliqua and Emma Forsgren, also a member of the class of 2023. On behalf of the Minerva DeLand family, we would like to thank the Fairport Board of Education members for their ongoing support and involvement to make Fairport an outstanding school district. Tonight, however, Minerva DeLand is honored to recognize the current president of the Fairport Board of Education, Mr. Peter Forsgren.
I am proud to talk about my father and his contributions. He has served on the Fairport Board of Education since 2012 and really loves his service to the Fairport School District. In addition to serving as board president, he has also been involved with the audit and finance wall of distinction committees. He is passionate about many things in life, but the one that stands out for me is how determined he is to make learning a fun experience for all students in our district. He believes in fostering curiosity, celebrating success, and also providing Fairport students with enrichment opportunities, such as field trips. My father feels joy in being a part of the Fairport students' learning experience and seeing them grow into adults. My 4 siblings and I see his commitment and are proud of the impact he has had on our school district.
When Mrs. Serrani was trying to decide what book should be dedicated to Mr. Forsgren, she talked with Emma. We learned that Mr. Forsgren loves reading and is especially fond of action books. One of his favorite books is the first book in the Reckoner series, called Steel Heart by Brandon Sanderson. In this adventure, David Charleston will go to any lengths to stop Steelheart, who has taken everything important from David. To exact revenge in Steelheart's world, David will need the Reckoner's help. This group is described as a shadowy group of rebels bent on maintaining justice. Steelheart has been dedicated to Mr. Forsgren and will be enjoyed by many 9th graders for years to come. Thank you to Mr. Forsgren and all the board members for caring so much and volunteering their time to make a difference.
Thank you. Great job, Ray. Good job, man. Thank you so much for speaking what's near and dear to Peter Forsgren's heart and representing it in one of his favorite books. I'm going to ask Fairport High School Principal, Mr. Robert or Bob Clark, to come forward to honor board member Marty Cardona.
Good evening, everyone, and on behalf of the students and staff at FHS, I want to thank the board for all your contributions. We appreciate your focus on doing what's best for students and providing so many opportunities for them to reach their potential. This evening, I'm pleased to introduce our PTSA President, Terry McDonald, and sophomores Lucia Cardona and senior Eddie Cardona to honor their grandmother, Mrs. Marty Cardona.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm Eddie, and this is Lucia, as Mr. Clark mentioned, and we're here to thank our grandmother, Marty Cardona, for all of her work, both in education and also in our family. And Lucia and I were lucky enough to have her as our principal starting out here at Brooks Hill Elementary. And seeing her still involved through the Board of Education going into my senior year is something that it really shows her commitment to the Fairport Central School District. Beyond that, beyond all the love and effort that she put into education and her family, her work in adoption is the inspiration for the book that we chose to donate in her name, Far From the Tree.
Far From the Tree, a novel by Robin Benwhite, is the story of Joaquin, Grace, and Maya, 3 teenage siblings who are adopted into different families. They meet for the first time after Grace has to give her own child up for adoption. As they get to know each other, they share stories and reflect on how adoption has affected their lives. We want to dedicate this book to our grandma because she, of course, has touched countless lives through her work in adoption.
Her selfless devotion to the children of the world and to us as her grandchildren is a blessing and an inspiration.
What a special tribute. Thank you. I would like to have Brooks Hill Principal Meredith Cluse come forward to recognize Damon Buffum. And I think Mrs. Cluse also has a group of students here that she's going to have share in this recognition for Mr. Buffum.
I'm actually going to start. I'm Lisa Christensen. I'm one of the PTA co-presidents. And on behalf of staff, students, and families at Brooks Hill, we'd like to formally recognize Mr. Damon Buffum. We appreciate Mr. Buffum's continued dedication to the Fairport school community. Mr. Buffum cares a great deal about Brooks Hill School and is always passionate in his role to support our students. In Fairport, we are fortunate to have Board of Education members like Mr. Buffum who are dedicated to providing all of our students with a quality education that promotes the growth of the whole student. I'll now give the time to Mrs. Cluse, who will introduce the students who came to honor Mr. Buffum tonight.
Thank you, Lisa, and good evening, everyone. So we have 4 students, and it's always interesting how we go about picking the students that we bring with us. And this year we tried something a little different. We put out to our special areas staff because they see all of the students. And we said, just name us some 5th graders who you think embody Brooks Hill's best, which is our mantra, Brooks Hill's best. And the emails rolled in and the same names kept popping up. So it tells you something about the 4 5th graders standing behind me. So in a minute, Joseph Homan, Lindley Milliman, Bryn Tonovitz, and Anosh Hakimi will each take a turn speaking.
We decided to pick out 3 picture books to honor Mr. Buffum. The first 2 books will be donated to our school library. We understand he likes to travel and learn about the world, so our choices represent his interests in the Board of Education's beliefs.
The first book is All Are Welcome, which sends a message of inclusivity. This is something that we understand the Board of Education cares about deeply. The second book is Around the World in Every Vehicle. This book follows a family traveling around the world, experiencing different types of vehicles.
Finally, the last book was chosen to be donated to our ELNL resources to welcome new students. It's called This Is How We Do It, and it compares 7 families from different parts of the world. We already have a copy in our library.
Brooks Hill School would like to thank Mr. Buffum tonight for helping Fairport students, staff, and administrators. He helps all of our school focus on the kids, and that is very important to us. He knows that the power of our students will impact our community's future.
Spot on. Brooks Hill, great job. Thank you. I would like to have Dudley School Principal Dr. Karen Finger and Ryan Charno come forward to recognize Mr. Kevin Glover.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of the entire Dudley Dragon School community, we would like to thank the whole Board of Education for all that they do to support our schools, ensuring that we are able to remain committed to educating the whole child. We are excited to be a part of recognizing each of you for your outstanding contributions to Fairport schools. To that end, I am pleased to introduce Mrs. Amy Zedek, our Vice President of the PTA, and her sons, Doug, a 2nd grader in Mrs. Johnson's classroom, and Tyler, a kindergarten student in Mrs. Stillman's classroom.
We are honored to recognize Mr. Kevin Glover this evening. Mr. Glover has been a valued Board of Education member for 3 years. As a U.S. Navy veteran, Mr. Glover's worldview has been shaped by his travels. We learned he is particularly passionate about diversity. My son, Doug, will share how this influenced us in our book selection.
Hello, we picked the book We Are Family by Patricia Haggard. This book celebrates the diversity of families through shared experience. Each family is different. It may be large or small. We may look like each other or not like at all. No matter where we live, or our color, creed, or name, in each and every family, the love is all the same. We hope you enjoyed this book. Thank you for all you do to make our schools the best.
I would like to have Erin Moretter, principal of Northside School, to come forward and recognize Board of Education member for the past 18 years, Joyce Kostick.
Good evening. On behalf of all of the Northside Heroes, thank you to the Board of Education for being champions for our children. I'm joined up here tonight by our incredible PTA president, Mrs. Angela Torres, and her son, Ethan Torres, who is a 5th grade student in Mrs. Catlin's class, and he'll be recognizing Mrs. Kostick.
There you go. Thank you, Fairport Board of Education members, for your dedication to our school. We are honored to recognize Mrs. Joyce Kostick for her service to Fairport schools. We would like to present her with the book Being You by Alexis Pate. In Being You, 2 kids learn that they have a choice about how the world sees them. They can accept labels that other people put on them, or they can let their inner selves shine. Together, these kids find people who see their value and help them face the world on their own terms. In celebrating every reader's uniqueness, the author helps us see the wonder and light within each of us. Mrs. Kostick, you stand up because you advocate for all students. On behalf of students and staff at Northside, we thank you.
Joanna Perrin, principal, Mr. Pat Groh will be coming forward to celebrate Mr. Tim Sliz, first-year board member.
Thanks, Brett. Good evening, everybody. And certainly on behalf of the staff and students at JP, I'd like to thank all of you for taking time to be on our board and dedicating so much time to make sure our school and district keep turning out such wonderful kids. And JP is going to recognize Mr. Sliz, who we miss daily at JP, but we're happy he's continuing his role on the board. And while I could go on, always, I know, we'll keep you posted on the menu. And while I could go on about Tim, certainly for a while right here too, I thought some of our 7th graders could do a little better job.
Hello, my name is Natalie Rothberg. Thank you to all the board members from all the students at JP for taking the time to make our schools great. We hope you enjoyed your visit to JP last month and know that you are welcome anytime. Mr. Sliz has always told us in class that he will make changes when he comes on the board, and I always believed him. Mr. Sliz is a very hard worker and always wants to do good. He has impacted me in so many ways, and I'm glad he gets to share that with the district. Thank you, Mr. Sliz.
Hi, my name is Megan Arcerio. We found a book that we know Mr. Sliz would love, and we are happy to present it to him as a gift that we will keep in the JP Library in his name. It is a book by Stephen Pastis and is called Timmy Failure. It's the end when I say it's the end. It's the 7th book in the series. Mr. Sliz will be the best teacher that I will ever have. I don't enjoy English that much, but Mr. Sliz made me look forward to English class every day last year. Thank you so much, Mr. Sliz.
The students will always tell the truth, Mr. Sliz. They'll always tell the truth. I would like to have, very fitting, Dave Dunn and Ryan Clare come forward, Martha Brown, principal and assistant principal, for recognizing, let me start over. We are here to recognize Judy O'Leary Sargent, and help us do that. Dave Dunn, principal, and Ryan Clare, assistant principal, will be coming forward with their students.
Good evening. On behalf of the Martha Brown parents, staff, and community, I want to welcome everyone here and just thank the board. We are so lucky to live in a community with board members so dedicated and committed to the whole child tenets. I go to county meetings all the time and just talk about what we're doing in Fairport, the great stuff. And I think some of our colleagues are really envious that they've got the leadership that really cares about the kids. So thank you for your continued support. Tim, that was pretty special. That was awesome. It's my pleasure to introduce Jolene Caselli. She's a traveling home and careers family and consumer science teacher, student council advisor at Martha Brown. She's going to take it over and introduce her two students. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you to all the board members for your ongoing commitment and support and service to our district and community. Our students, they benefit from your leadership and vision every day. So tonight we have two young ladies that represent Martha Brown Student Council. They're two 6th graders, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
My name is Julia Stewart, and I'm a 6th grade student at Martha Brown and president of Student Council.
Hi, I am Nora Berlante, also a 6th grade student and the vice president of Student Council. This year, Martha Brown has the honor of recognizing board member Miss Judy O'Leary Sargent for her dedication of countless personal hours, leadership, and commitment to ensure each and every student in the Fairport School District receive the best education possible. Furthermore, we would like to thank her for being an active member of the district's Wellness Committee and helping to promote the health and well-being of students, faculty, and families in our school and community. We applaud your vision and voice to educate each child, every child, and the whole child, tomorrow's leaders.
We would like to present the small token of appreciation to you. It will be donated in your name to Martha Brown Library. The book titled After the Fall by Dan Santat is a story about Humpty Dumpty, a spindly-limbed pale egg, and how he copes with his anxiety after his great fall. It's a touching story in magnificent illustrations as Humpty gives new life as he confronts his debilitating fear, in light of many mental health issues that young people are confronting every day. This story inspires and encourages even the most afraid to overcome their fears.
Congratulations, Dr. O'Leary Sargent. I would like to have our JA team come up to give the proclamation for all board members during this very special week. So we're going to have our JA team with Mr. Green and Ms. Busby and our PTA friends and students.
Congratulations to the Board of Education. I'm Rich Green from Jefferson Avenue School, and I'm joined by Jen Goller and Jessica Arnold from our JAPTA, and also some of our students, Lorelei Goller and Ted Ostrander and Kylie Hinchcliffe. And we have a proclamation to read, but before we do that, I'd like to give you a copy so you know.
JA's theme this year is gratitude. It is with gratitude and appreciation that we recognize the members of the Fairport Board of Education for all that you do for the children, staff, and families at JA and all of the Fairport schools.
Whereas the Fairport Board of Education supports its educational professionals and believes in their ability to educate Fairport children in the best way possible, and
whereas the Board of Education works with its educators to provide an environment where each child can grow in his or her desire to learn, create, and solve problems, and
whereas the Board of Education works to cultivate healthy, caring, and critical thinkers who participate in and contribute to society, and
whereas the Fairport Board of Education works on behalf of the Fairport community and promotes its values and beliefs, and
whereas the members of the Fairport Board of Education voluntarily accept the previously mentioned responsibilities.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the people of Jefferson Avenue School, along with the other Fairport school communities, do hereby proclaim October 2019 as School Board Appreciation Month in Fairport, New York. We encourage all citizens to publicly and privately thank the school board members for their service.
Thank you, everyone. To our students here, I just want to say thank you on behalf of coming out here tonight. We really appreciate it. You inspire us as we go around to all the schools, so thank you so much for that recognition.
You know, it's almost poetic, and you know, they don't spend the time that I spend with you as a whole body, but the books, the stories behind the books, and how they capture your hearts as leaders, it speaks volumes because your vision of excellence and care and passion is played out in our schools in so many ways. So I honor and celebrate your service, and I'm grateful as well. Thank you all. Thank you to our students and school members who came out.
Perhaps our most enjoyable part of the evening. We will continue on with the agenda, but we will pause just briefly for those parents or family PTA members, staff who've come, and you're always welcome to stay for the rest of it, but if you like to, we will pause just briefly for those who like to make a quick exit.